The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi guys, a very good evening to all of you. Now Ankush, is the screen visible? Good evening everyone. Hi Ankush, good evening everyone. Let others join, we'll start. Hello everyone, hello. Okay, so what we studied in the last class guys? Can we recall something? What we studied in the last session? What we did actually in the last session? I am fine, Janelia, how are you? Yes. So please can you tell me what we discussed in the last session guys? Yes. So those who are getting the problem in the connection of the MongoDB, did you write in the discussion forum, guys? Okay, just see over here. Okay, those see guys, those whose queries are being resolved, please do write over here that yes, my queries has been resolved. Fine, so that we can close their session, we can close their ticket raised. Okay, so please I would suggest you ki those who's like this logged, we are giving a log, so we can log it. Okay, and nobody others can post it on that. Fine, that's why we are locking it. So if your query has been resolved over here in the LMS, I would suggest please you should write a message that yes, query resolved, or reply to us. Fine. How would I know that your query is resolved or not? So please do that. Okay, that will be a very helpful for us. And those who are whose MongoDB was not connected, I told you to write in LMS, but I didn't get anyone writing it. Fine. No. So I hope that everybody's LMS is being connected. Is it so? Okay, fine. So in the last session, we talked about how we can connect our Node application with the MongoDB. Then we talked about how what are the important folders and files we have to create in order to write our logic, our business logic. Business logic means whatever the logic which user are going to use for us, or user is going to use, find those type of logic, how to write and where to write. So we started with where we started with the request response cycle. Fine. On the auth controller, we I help you to see what is a request, how this request is coming. Now this request is over here as a big, very, very big object. In that very big object, we are taking request.body. Correct. We are taking what? Request.body. This request.body is one, a body is what, one key, well, key of this request, in which whatever the data are sent from the front end. In our case, what is the front end? Can you tell me in our case now what is the front end? Postman. Correct. Postman is the front end. So in our case, postman, whatever the, we are giving the data to the postman, and that the postman is sending the data, we are getting those datas inside our body. Correct. Inside our body. And then that data we can use it to pass it towards our, database. That's what we have to do. Sign up is what? Sign up is nothing but whatever the data you are getting from the front end, in the backend you have to write a logic so that it should check whether the data is correct or not. If the data is correct, I have to eventually add it inside my database. That's what we have to do in the sign up. Correct. So let's open MongoDB, guys. I hope MongoDB Compass. Fine. And let's connect this application also so that it is running, and we can see that. So the new terminal over here, we can remove all the previous terminals. Fine. And please remember that we have to open in a particular or in a correct folder. Fine. So internship 5 cd full stack, as you can see, music player, backend we can write. Fine. Enter. Okay. npm run development. Fine. So as you can see, as we run npm run development, we can see that we will have server is running on the port 5000 and the MongoDB is connected successfully. Okay. How many of you are getting this two good statements? Everyone is getting? Yes, getting? Fine. Nice, nice, nice. Very good, very good. Everybody is getting, so no issues. Fine. Now, if you remember, one second, just let me open. What were the steps to write the sign up? What were the steps to write the sign up, guys? Do you remember? Fine. These were the steps to write the sign up. Now, whatever we are going to write in the controller in our request response cycle, correct? We will have to mimic these 4 steps. Fine. These 4 steps we have to write it there in the code. So let's see how to write it. Fine. Let's see how to write it over here. Then we will move on to the login part. Fine. Subsequently, and then okay. So sign up is there. This is what one controller function, correct? One controller function. So now let's write the sign up. Fine. Just one second, guys. Okay. So now if you know that we are getting the data over here, correct? So why not, instead of writing all these things, fine, instead of writing all these things, console.log and console.log data and all these things, why not we should destructure over here to get the data directly? We can destructure, no, sorry, directly we can destructure. So I can write name, fine, I can write an email ID, fine, I can write password, fine, and I can also write avatar, fine. Avatar spelling is wrong, avatar. So these, what we have done, we have destructured directly over here, and then we are getting the data, fine. Okay, now it's time for, fine, this is the step number 1. I'll write, so get the data from the front end, fine. Now second step is to check the data is correct or not. Means whether the data is damaged or whether the wrong data you are sending, that thing, or the data you are not sending, those things we have to check. Fine. So I can write if there is no name, if there is no name, fine, or there is no email ID, fine, or there is no password, which were the required parts, which are the required part. Then what we'll do, we'll write return response dot status, fine, status, because next time I don't want to move forward after this, fine, because here only we are checking that any of the things are not there. Name is, either name will be not there or email is not there, fine, any of the things are not there, then why we need to go move forward. So here only we will return everything, fine. So response dot status will write 400, fine, 400 dot json, and we will write the message over here, fine, we'll write the message over here that name, email ID, password are required. are required. Fair enough? Fair enough? Then suppose if it is passing this checkpoint, this is what we have created a checkpoint, no? Whether we are checking everything, fine. Suppose it has passed this checkpoint. Now the major issue is coming, that whether this email ID exists or not. Fine. So we have to actually use this email ID to find whether any user exists with this email ID or not. Fine. So I will write const existing user is equal to await user. Fine. Now see, now guys, see over here, why we are using an await and why we are going to use async. Because one thing you tell me, if we are talking to the database, correct, if we are talking to the database, will that will the response will take its time to get to the backend or not? Will it take time? Yes. Yes, it will take time, because you see database is somewhere else, correct, database is somewhere else, there's something else. Fine. There now we are dealing with only few, like 1 2 3 queries. Fine. What if you have 1 lakh of data coming? Will it take time? Yes, it is going to take time. Fine. So every time, now from here, just you make a rule. Every time when you are going to talk with the database, always use async await. Always use asynchronous await. Always. And over here we have to write user. Fine. This user is what? This user is the model. If you remember, we have written there na model, and we, where is that model? Here user we have written, and this is the user. This export default user. Fine. Export default user. So user dot, now the method is there, find one. Fine. Okay. So import user from model user.model.js. Okay. And over here, what I will write, user dot find one. Now find one, again, you have to write a MongoDB query for find one. Now what Mongoose has done is that given you a function. Instead of not writing a MongoDB query, Mongoose has done what? It has given you a function which is representing the MongoDB query directly. So fine, it has made us very easy actually. And then what you have to give, see, if you go on the find one, fine, it is telling you that you have to pass name, email ID, password, whatever the value you want to pass, you can pass it. Fine. So I will pass find one, means one data you have to find, and with the email ID means the key value. In the MongoDB, the key value is what? Email. And what you want to pass? Email. Here we are getting the mail ID inside this email, and in the MongoDB, how it is being saved? They are being saved as an email only written. Okay. Over here, if you write over here email ID, now they are going to save in the database as an email ID, not as an email. Fine. So this is the MongoDB's, in that what it is storing, and this email ID is the data which is coming from the front end. Now here I can write, if there is an existing user, fine, if there is an existing user, then what I have to do? I have to just return a response. Again, just copy paste this though. Copy paste this thing, and you can write return response.status 400.json, and message what you will write, email ID already exists. email ID already exists. Fine. Okay, let's suppose now the email ID is not existing. It means what? It means neither we have provided all the data and those data are not present inside my database. So we have to create the user. Fine. We have to do what? We have to create the user. Okay. How to create it? It's very simple. What you have to do? You have to write const user is equal to await. Again, I told you, if you are going to talk with the database, await, you should use await user dot create. Fine. Dot create. Now create with what? Create with what? So you create with the name, name, email ID, fine, and password, and avatar. Now avatar over here, it is not a necessary requirement. So you can write avatar. Okay, you can leave avatar like that. And here you have to write response dot status 201. Fine, 201 dot json. That user message, what we will write the message, what user created successfully. User created successfully. Fine. And then if you want, you can also send the data of the user. So you can write user, and you can write one more curly bracket. It means user is now also an object. ID is what? User dot underscore ID. Fine. You will see when it is saving inside the MongoDB, no, it is saved as an underscore ID. Fine. Whenever a new database is created, it is always created with the underscore ID. Name, user dot name. Fine. Email ID, user dot email. Correct. Fine. Do you want to show the password, guys? Do you want to show the password? Avatar user dot avatar. Do we have to give a response as an password also? Do we need to send response as a password also? Yes. Who is telling yes? No, correct. Fine. We don't have to share the password. Okay. Now, guys, tell me two, three things over here. Fine. Okay. Suppose if we are uploading an image, correct? This is what? An image. Uploading an image directly to the database, correct? images uploaded to the directory to the database. We are talking in context of avatar, about the avatar what we have to do. Okay, so can we do it directly? And if we can do it directly, fine. If we can do it directly, will it take time? What do you think? What do you think, guys? See, yes, we can save directly these images inside our database, correct? Directly we can save it. Yes, it will take a hell lot of time, too much time it will take to get the data, to add the data, to do anything. Fine, to do anything. And plus point, what more, it will increase the size of your database. What it will do, increase the size of database. Fine, increase the size of database. And these all things will do what? Eventually these all things will reduce to a slow website. What it will uh, conclude to a slow website, which in our case don't want, which in our case we don't want to have a very slow website. Now what we should do over here then, what we should do as a solution for this, see what we can do, that whatever the images, fine, whatever the images you are uploading, you keep it inside a third party cloud. Fine, you keep it inside where? You keep it inside cloud. Fine. And in response, this cloud is going to give you an URL, image URL. Fine. What it is going to give you? Image URL. And this image URL, you store it inside our database. Why? Fine. You store it inside our database. Now what will happen? What will happen is that now I am not increasing my database. I'm not like my database size will go down. Correct? Database size will go down. We don't have to manage images. That's what we have to do. And since it is a cloud, since we are uploading in the cloud, we can have a backup of these images. And yes, time is will be reduced. Why? Because what will happen once you upload this image, fine, once you upload this image in the cloud, now in the cloud that image will be stored, and what it will give you, it will give you a link of that image is where it is stored. Fine, that URL it will give you where the image has been stored, and that we can store it inside our database as an avatar. Avatar will hold what? Avatar will hold a URL. This URL is representing where the data is in our cloud. Now we don't have to directly upload our data, upload our images in the database, and hence it will increase the efficiency of the website. It will decrease the time, decrease the database size. And in this situation, for this cloud storing of the data in the cloud, we are going to use image kit. And if somebody has done some previous web development, they might have listened to this website called Cloudinary. Cloudinary. This is also the same thing where we can upload our videos and photos, images, and everything as in cloud, and then send the data of these DBs, send the data, send this URL to our DBs. So this is where we are going to take the help of image kit. Understood, guys? Do you have an image kit sign up account? Do they have an image kit sign up account? Do you have? Can you please open, guys? Do you have, guys, image kit? Please reply. Yes. Okay. Now, first thing over here, what we have to do, fine. First thing over here, what we have to do, we have to establish a connection, fine. Establish a connection between our backend, fine, between our backend and this cloud. That connection we need to set up, fine. And then subsequently, whatever the response it is giving me, whatever the response it is going to give me, and suppose this is what our backend, fine. So whatever the response this cloud will give, and then the response they will generally give a URL, correct? URL they will give. That response I will save it inside my DB. So like this everything will work. Okay, so in order to establish the connection between our backend and the image kit, we have to actually go for the developer option. In the left hand side over here you will find a developer option. In the developer option you will get standard keys and you will get public key, private key. So these keys first of all are confidential, and these keys will be different from whatever the keys you have, from whatever different in for each and every people. These keys will be different for each and every account. These keys will be different. We will use these keys to establish the connection between Node.js and the image kit, fine. Okay, we'll use this uh, keys for establishing the connection between our backend and the image kit, fine. And these are confidential. Where should we write our confidential data, guys? In our backend, where should we write our confidential data? Tell me, guys. git ignore. No, 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 no. We should keep our confidential data. Fine. Okay, we should keep our confidential data inside our .env file. Again, I told you, no, we don't give .env file in, we don't actually add .env file inside our inside our GitHub. This .env file is our secret. Fine. Everybody has their own secret. This is our secret. .env file is the project secret. You don't have to give anyone .env file. What you can give, .env file dummy you can give. That these are the, that you can say that we have the port. This port can be anything. We have the MongoDB URI, we have the image kit, all the things, public key, private key, and URL endpoint. But actually you have to add your public key, you have to add your private key, you have to add your URL endpoint. Fine. You have to do that. Correct, you have to do that. So we are we will be not sharing a, anything which is personally logged in, because what will happen, people will use others env files, and what they will do, they will, here 5 GB, up to 5 GB over here in the image kit is free. They will immediately use an update, immediately they will do. Fine, that we don't want actually. Fine. So every time whatever the connection string or the setup and developer things, all those things should be written inside .env file, which you don't have to share it. Okay. Okay, guys. So let's write all those things, fine, inside our .env. So here will be our image kit. Fine. Here it will be our image kit configuration you can write, or image kit keys you can write. Fine. Image kit credentials you can write. Fine. So I will also not share with you. Fine. So what I am going to do, I am going to just turn off my screen for a second and just copy paste my data over here. Fine. So that you cannot take mine, I cannot take yours data. Fair enough. Fine. I hope my keys are not visible to you. Okay. So what we have to do, image kit public key, image kit private key, and image kit URL endpoint. These things you have to add it. So you see public key you will find over here, copy it. Private key you will find over here, you can copy it again. Again, I think it will ask you for the password that you can enter. And the URL endpoint is over here. That also you can copy it and add it inside your URL. Fine. These things you have to do it. Done, guys? Have you written? Now we will set up a configuration. Fine. We'll set up how to configure fine our image kit with how to link our image kit with our backend. So what we'll go to the configuration. Fine. We'll go to the configuration over here. In the configuration, okay, we have written connect DB. Here we'll write new file, and here we'll write image kit.js. Fine. The configuration we are adding. Okay, so please see here how to do it. First of all, what we need is we need import image kit from image kit. Fine. Import image kit from image kit. Then import fine .env, because we are again dealing with environmental variables. So .env from .env. Okay. Then .env .config. Fine. Okay. Then const image kit. Fine. Image kit is equal to new. Fine. New image kit I will write. Okay. And over here in the curly bracket, you have to write public key, and then you have to write process dot env dot image kit. Fine. Dot image kit underscore public. Fine. Underscore key. Fine. Similarly, private key is similarly URL endpoint. So over here we'll write private key and URL endpoint. And what we have to do? We have to export default image kit. Fine. What we have to do? Export default image kit. Database. Okay. Guys, okay, so now we have configured over here our image kit. Now we have to use this image kit whatever we have configured, and we have to connect it with, means whatever you are sending from the backend, that should be actually accepted in the image kit. That functionality we have to write. Okay, so we will go to the auth controller over here, and before this creation of the user, we need to do that thing. Okay, before the creation of the user, we need to do that thing. So what I will write, let avatar URL, fine, URL is equal to empty string. Okay, now what we have to do, if avatar is there, if you have uploaded the avatar, fine, we have to use that functionality. If you have uploaded the avatar, fine. Okay, sorry, what happened? Okay, sorry. So if you have uploaded the avatar, then what we will do? So const upload, this functioning I'm writing const upload, fine, response, fine, upload response is equal to await image kit, fine, image kit dot upload. Very simple it is. Fine, image kit dot upload. Okay, and then what you have to do, you have to give what file you are uploading. So file you have to write avatar, avatar, fine, then you have to write file name, or what should be the file name. So the file name should be, I'll write avatar, okay, underscore dollar curly bracket date dot now, because we know that date dot now is always changing. Fine, always changing. Okay, dot jpeg, fine, and what folder. Yes, you can also create a folder inside image kit, on what folder it should be. So I'm writing MERN music player okay, and then what I should do, I should I should write I should write avatar URL is equal to whatever after upload response, whatever the response we are getting, that generally will come as an URL. So upload response.url. So that URL I will save inside my avatar URL. Fine. And instead of not sending the avatar directly, we will send what? Avatar URL. That is how we should do. Is there any doubt? Is there any doubt, guys? Please do let me know, guys, if there is any doubt. Okay, so this is how we will create our sign up. Fine. In this sign up, what was extra thing? This avatar thing was the extra part. Fine. So for this, what we use? Image kit. Fine. We use where the cloud systems we use. Fine. Okay. Now let's run this sign up thing and let's try on the on the postman whether it is running, whether it is doing correctly or not. Fine. So first of all, check whether our server is running correctly. Yes, our server is running correctly. Port also 5000. Everything is running correctly. We'll go to the postman. Over here, we will write what? Okay. Before writing anything, let's go to the routes. Here, do we have written? Okay. Sign up is correct. And if I go to the index.js, fine, because this is our entry file. So over here, as you can see, API auth router is written. So everything is correct. Fine. So we'll go to the postman over here. We'll write API /auth / sign up. Now sign up is a put post what request? post request. Correct? Sign up is what? A post request. Okay, which needs a raw body email, and over here it needs a name also. Correct? Name, what I will write is WSA team. Fine, WSA team. Put a comma. Email ID. Sorry, what I put a full stop. Correct? Put a comma over here, and this I'll also change. What I will write, wsa@gmail.com. Any email ID for now you can write wsa@gmail.com. Fine. And write password 123. Okay. Now moving forward, guys, you tell me one thing over here. Do you want to save this password as it is, or do you want to encrypt this password and then save it? What do you want to do? See, tell me one thing. Many of you are using internet banking, correct? Internet banking you are using, correct? Now, if I, because there also some developer has developed, correct? There also database are seen by somebody. There, suppose you take the example of State Bank of India, internet banking. They have developers, they have database engineers and everything. They can see your data. Yes, they can see your data. What if whatever you are saving, the password of your internet banking is saved as it is? What will happen? Those data engineers or those web developers can take the money out of your internet banking. True. They can take the take the money from your internet banking because they know the ID, they know the password. So always remember that we don't save the password as it is. We have to make them encrypt. Fine, we have to make them encrypt. So over here, we are also going to do the same because we don't want to expose the password to anyone. So let's do that. Fine, let's do that. So either you can write over here before even creation of the user, you can write the functionality to encrypt the password. You can do that. Or the best option, I will tell you, one good option is there, that you go inside user model. Here in the user model, what we can do, we can write some specific functionality which will run before saving of the user. We can write a special functions which can run before saving of the users. Those functions will write. And how to write it, let's see. So what you have to do, you have to write a pre-save function. Fine. Pre-save function for the password. Means whenever it is going to save something, this particular function should run. So pre-save function for password. Pre-save method you can say, or function. So user schema, as you remember, user schema, this is user schema dot pre means before what? Before the save event. Fine. Before any save event, what you have to do, you have to write a callback function. You have to write what? A callback function. Correct? In this callback function, you have to write if this dot password. Do you understand the meaning of this over here? If this dot is modified, you write dot is modified, and what it modified? Password. Fine. Modified what? Password. Then what we have to return I'm sorry. If this dot is modified, password is not there, I'm writing not is modified. Fine. Then you return it. Then I don't want to do anything. Fine. Because you see, we can edit the user there also, we are saving the user. but there we are not updating the password. Correct. We are not updating the password. So that time what we have to do, we don't have to do anything, because what will happen now, encryption over an encryption will happen. We have encrypted one layer and we will keep it inside our database. If suppose you have not written this statement and you make any changes in the sign up, you make any changes uh, in the edit profile. Correct. In the edit profile, you make any changes, what will happen? An encrypted password will again encrypt. So two layers of encryption will be there. Fine, two layers of encryption is there, but you will be writing only one layer of encryption. So when you want to log in, that time the password will not match, because you will have level 1 encryption, whereas the saved password will have level 2 encryption. Fine. So that's why this statement is important. Okay, if you are not modifying the password, you better return it. You don't do anything. And if you are modifying the password, then you want to add the salt layer, the encryption layer. Fine. So const salt is equal to what you have to write, await, and here we are going to use bcrypt. Fine. Here we are going to use bcrypt. Okay. CRYPT. Okay. Bcrypt dot generate salt. Okay. Over here 10 layers of salt. Fine. Now what we will do, we'll write okay, this dot password. This dot password means it will align to what, towards any what you call user is calling. This will point towards an object calling. Fine. So this dot password await, now await bcrypt. Fine. Await what, bcrypt dot hashing. We have to do hashing, and and we are not writing by ourselves. It is given in the documentation. I will show you. Okay. This dot password with an extra layer with the salt whatever we have created. That you have to do. This is what you have to do. So before saving anything, this is what going to be changed inside our password. Fine. Okay. I have to import bcrypt from bcrypt. Okay. Now let me show you over here. npm bcrypt. Fine. See here, guys. See, function error and salt, bcrypt dot hash my plain text salt and function error and hash. Fine. We have nothing done from our own side. Everything has been actually written over here in their documentation. You see salt layer, my plain text is this, some salt layer has been applied. When generate salt sync, hash sync, everything has been written over here. Fine. So this thing only we have applied. Now what will happen? Whenever you save the password, whenever you are saving the password, what will happen? It is going to transform your password into encrypted format. Okay, now let's try. Let's try the Postman, guys. Fine. Over here, let's send it. So as you can see, user created successfully. Fine. The user is ID is this, name is WSA team, email ID is wsa@gmail.com, and avatar we have not given, so empty string. So now what you have to do, you have to go to your MongoDB. Fine. You have to go to your MongoDB like this. Okay, got it. I think it is open. Fine. When you go to the MongoDB over here in the full stack music player, you will get a users. Fine. What you will get? You will get a users over here. In this users, actually we have to, because one is for the testing purpose I have written before. Second one, if you see, we are getting an ID, name, email ID, password. Now this password, you see, it is not 123QWE. This password is something else, one encryption layer it is. Did you understand, guys? Is there any doubt? Please reply, guys. Don't sit idle. Okay. Okay, guys. So now you can see we are able to sign up. Correct. We are able to sign up. Now let's come on to the login part of it. Fine. Let's come to the login part of it. How the login should work. Okay, how the login should work. Can anybody help me with this? So over here, suppose in the front end, fine, this one going to use green. So suppose in the front end, this is the front end. In this front end, again you are filling a form. Now we are going to talk about what? Log in, correct? In this front end, you are going to fill a form. That form will have email ID, and this form will have what? Password, correct? This two thing only you need to write it in the front end. Okay. Again, it will request to the backend. What request? Request with these datas, correct? Now this datas over here, it will request, fine, to the backend, and here the backend it is, and then request eventually at the end to our database. Okay. Now, okay. Now, so the first step is to accept the data. Accept the data coming from front end. Correct? That is the first step. Second step, what is the second step? Second step is to search user according to the email ID you got it from the front end. Search the user according to the email ID you got it from the front end. Okay. Third, you have to check whether the user exists or not. If user exists or not, fine. That you have to check. Yes or no statement it is. So if the user exists, if the user don't exist, what will tell? Will tell please sign up. This email account does not exist. Please sign up. And if the user exists, what we have to do? If the user exists, then we have to encrypt the password, whatever the password we are getting, encrypt the password and match it with the password saved inside our DB. With the password saved inside our DB. And if the password does not match, then we will tell invalid credentials. If the password is matching, then what we'll do? Login. What we'll do? Login, and we'll give the response login successful. Correct? These are the steps we are going to follow. Let's write it then. Okay, let's write it then. So auth controller, here we have written what? Sign up controller, correct? Now we'll write below this, we'll write const login. Sorry, we have to write const login is equal to asynchronous request comma response. Fine. Okay, asynchronous request respond. Why we are using asynchronous? Because we have to talk to our database. Fine, because we have to talk to our database. Correct? Now, what was the step number one? First of all, we have to accept the data which is coming. How we will accept the data which is coming? Very easy, with the request.body. Correct? So const email comma password. Fine. Both are coming with the request.body. Anything wrong I have written till now? Okay. If now here also one guard clause will write, if there is no email or there is no password. Correct? If there is no email, there is no password, then what we have to do? We have to write response.status what? 400. Response.status what? 400 dot JSON .json over here and write message. Message is that email and password are required. Email and password are required. If suppose we have both of them, then we have to do what? We have to check whether the user exists with the provided email ID or not. Fine. So const user is equal to await. Fine, await user dot find one. Fine, find one with the given email ID. Fine. If there is no user, fine. If there is no user, then we will write return response dot status for 400 dot json. Fine. Message is message that invalid or email ID doesn't exist. Fine. Okay. Suppose the email ID also exists. Fine. So what we have to do? We have to encrypt our password and match that password. So for that, what we will do? We are going to write one method. Now method, we can directly write it inside our user model. That method, we can directly write it over here. So that any password which is coming, here we can directly compare. No, so here we can write compare compare password. Fine, compare password. This method we are writing. Fine. So user schema dot methods. Fine, dot methods. We can write it. In that method name will be what? Compare password. Compare password is equal to function. Fine, function, and whatever you have written as an whatever you have entered the password. Fine, entered password. Whatever password you have entered, what we have to do? Return bcrypt. Fine, bcrypt dot compare. Fine, bcrypt dot compare what? Bcrypt dot compare entered password, comma this dot password. Fine, that bcrypt will take care of them. Nothing we have to do. Bcrypt is going to take care of that, whatever the password you have entered and what is the correct password. So bcrypt, what it will do, it will add the same layer of encryption what you have added, and then it will give you the output. Okay. So here it will return you yes or no, means true or false value it will return. Okay. Here it will return you true or false value, and this functionality we have to use over here in the auth controller. Fine. Here we have to write if sorry, const is match. Fine, is match is equal to what? Is equal to await. Again we are going to touch the user. So user dot is user dot compare password. Compare password and write whatever the password we are writing. Fine, compare password and whatever the password we are writing. Okay, just make sure that you have written the correct spelling. Make sure that you have written the correct spelling. Okay. So if is match is false, means it is not matching, then what we have to do? We have to write return response dot status, fine, 400 dot JSON, and the message what you will write, that invalid credentials. Invalid credentials. Fine. And if everything is correct, then response dot status, fine, and the status will be 200. If you see sign up status, what 201, 201 means creation. But this one, okay, one more thing we are forgetting, that we have to write inside try catch block. Okay, response dot status dot JSON, fine. Over here you'll write the message, user logged in successfully. User logged in what? Successfully. Fine. And also if you want, you can give the user details if you want. Fine. And the error, guys, fine, error you can copy paste from here. We have written copy paste from sign up, so that every time you don't have to write it. So console.error login not successful. Login error. Over here you can write error dot message. Then you have to export this login functionality. Any doubt, guys? Any doubt you have? Any doubt, guys? Okay, then we will go to our routes. Fine. We'll go to our auth routes, and over here we'll write login and login. Okay, make sure this login has been imported. Fine. Make sure that login has been imported. Fine. Now let's check. It's time to check. Before checking, what I should do is that we should create a collection in our database. We should, in our Postman, we should create a collection so that we can keep this API in order to again revisit, because here we are testing it and keeping the APIs. Fine. So I'm creating a collection, a blank collection over here, and that blank collection I am going to give the name as full stack music player. Fine. Okay. Now full stack music player over here, I am going to create one, not request. Fine. Let me delete it. I'm going to add a folder, and this folder name I'm going to give it as an authentication. Fine, authentication. In this authentication, what I will do, I will keep this sign up. Fine. So I will write over here, save. Fine. So it will ask where to save. So we'll go to the full stack music player inside authentication. And over here, I will request name. It is sign up. Okay, it is what? Sign up, and save this. So as you can see in the sign up, this is the post request what we have to create. Okay, next what we are going to create, we are going to create localhost login. Correct. Login. This is again a post request. Correct. Post request. And inside the body, as an JSON format data, we don't have to give the name, but we have to give what? Email ID and password. Okay, let's send this and let's check whether it is running or not. As you can see, guys, user logged in successfully, and we have successfully logged in our user. Fine. We have successfully logged in our user, and this also I'm going to save it as inside my full stack music player authentication, and this one is going for login. Fine, this one is going to use for login. Done. You can see a 200 OK message over here, and over here you can also, okay, this is not showing. If I show you the history, you can see a 201 created when it gave me for the sign up. Sorry. Now guys, okay, login, sign up, everything was okay. Fine. Okay, one thing I'm going to ask you, and please give the answer over here, all of you, that how many times you log in into a website? Is it too often or every time? Or is it one time you logged in, after 10-15 days again they will ask you the login? How oftenly you are logging into any website? You tell me. Is it on the regular basis or is it in the interval basis? A or B? Guys, A or B? Just comment A or B. Just you comment. Meanwhile, I'll write the second question. When you refresh your website, too oftenly, okay, interval basis, like in 10-15 days you are logging in again and again. I'm not telling you if you log out. I'm telling you simply I open one website and then I close that website without logging out. Again, if you open that website, is it logged in or is it logged out? No. Okay. Musical vibes is not here today. B and no. Okay. But don't you think how our browser knows that we are logged into such website? How our browser knows that we are actually logged into this particular website? Because you see, request and response cycle is a stateless cycle. Stateless means they don't contain or they don't keep your data. Once once you are requested, the request is over. Once it is sending you the response gets destroyed. That's all. This is one way. You request something, you get something. That's all. But if you see over here, when you go to some particular website, fine, again a request will happen. What request? That whether you are logged in or not. Whether you are logged in or not. So how with this request, how we are sending the data? Because we are not logging in, we are not typing the login data. Still, it is showing me that I am logged in. What I mean you to say, see, suppose any logged in website. Okay, huh. Learnwebstackacademy.com. This is what our logged in website. Correct. Fine. Now what I will do, I will log out. See over here, I will log out. Okay. I will refresh it multiple times. Fine. Again, I can log in. Fine. So what happened this time? We logged in, and with the login in the backend of this LMS website, what happened? The data went there. Fine. You can also see. Okay. You can also inspect over here. Fine. You can go for inspect. You can go for network request, and you can reload the page. Okay. Now again, let's again use this method of logging out. Log out this. Fine. Something is happening. Now log in. Okay, why it is not giving me the request? Okay. Or huh. One second. I'll show you the show you the raw one. Fine. Let me show you the raw one. So over here you see I am writing questionslab.in. Fine, correct. And here the website is loading, and here one network request is sending that check. Fine, check. Once this check is complete, when this everything is over, it will return you something. Let's see what it will return us. It will take some little time. Okay, fine guys. See over here, question land, this thing is coming. Fine, this is the front page. Get started. If you go to the get started, here it is telling you to log in and log out. Fine. Now let's log in. Suppose richa@gmail.com, and over here one I have one password over here that I will write. Fine. And let's log in. So now what happened, this login functionality is running. As you can see, this login functionality is running, and this login actually is giving me some data. Fine. That email ID, Richa, role is what, admin, and everything. It is giving me this data. Fine. That thing we have written. This is the response, guys, you are getting. Fine. This is what the response you are getting. Okay, this is the response you are getting. Now what I will tell, that I will close this website over here. I close this website. Now if I again open this same website, fine, if I again open this same website, get started, I don't have to log in. Why I don't have to log in? See, if you go to the network request and reload, no, again you will see there is no login thing we have run. There is no login functionality, a login method has run. Still it remembers that I have logged in to this website. Still it remembers. And what one more thing is that when I reload it, is again not asking me to log out or do login. It is telling that yes, you are logged into this website. How this website, this page is remembering me? You understand the problem? Understand the problem. We'll come to the solution later. First, understand the problem. The problem over here is how it is remembering over here that I am logged in. And you see, if you go to the check over here, no, it is telling that yes, you are the user. You are the user. Okay, let's log out. Fine, let's log out, and let's suppose different email ID. Let's log in. Fine. Let's do different email ID. I've logged in. Now this is Rohit Kumar. Correct. Okay. So if you see login request, this is for Rohit Kumar login request. Fine. Fine. Again, if I refresh it, it is not telling that it was the page of Richa Jha. It was the page of what? Rohit Kumar only. Again, if I close this and again if I open this, because when I close this, everything is vanished, everything is deleted. And when I again open this questionslab.in, it is telling me that you are right click inspect. Fine. Console, sorry, network request, reload this website again. Fine. And if I press on get started, it is telling me, okay, fine, you are logged in. You have logged into my website. How this is happening? It means ours, some information of us is being saved over here, you know. In this browser, our information has been saved. Because request and response are what? Stateless. They cannot store our information. They cannot store our information. So somehow we need to store the information of who has logged in. Otherwise, what will happen, you know, when you refresh or when you go to the next page, suppose I went to this reverse a number page, what will happen? You will log out. You will immediately logged out. Because these pages, these whatever the pages we have written, these pages are authorized page. Means only the authenticated user can visit to this page. These are called what? Protected routes. Protected routes. We talked about in the front end, no, about the routing and everything. This is the special case where it is called protected route. Protected route means these are the pages which only a logged in user can access. See, I will copy this thing, Control C, this website, and I will do one thing. I will log out. Fine. And then I will again paste it. Control V. See this, paste it. I am not going to that website. Where I am coming? I am coming to the login one. Because you know what? Only logged in user can access that thing. But my question, that's my question only. That's the problem. How it is remembering when we refresh everything or when we close the website and again open the website, the data about that who has logged in, who has last logged in. It's because some of the information are being stored inside the browser or are being shared. That information are shared whenever the first API is being called. The first API over here is being called check. And if you see, we are writing questions lab on render.api v1 auth check. This is the first API. With this first API, we will bind that information whether we are logged in or not, and that information actually are stored inside token. Fine. So every time you log in, every time you sign up, we will assign you a token. That token will be saved inside the browser with your information. Now there are several ways to send the token. Several ways. One way, if you have heard of, is called cookies. Now, if you remember, when you are not able to sign up, when you are not able to log in, or when you are not able to see a desired website, what the customer care people tell you that you should remove your cookies, you should remove your cache, you should remove your history and then try doing it. Correct. Then try doing it. Why it happens? Because those tokens are not saved. Somehow those tokens are not saved. So what happened there? You remove the cookies, you remove the cache, you remove the history, and then everything is removed. Then again you open this website and again you log in, and this time it logged in. Why? Because the token is now saved. And again you refresh the page, again you see you are logged in. Why? Because token is there. That token, at every page, at every rendering and everything, it will always send a request, it will always send an API request, always send a request to yes you are connected, yes I'm connected, yes this is the user, yes this is the user. Understood my point? So if we come to this option, that yes, how oftenly you are logged into this website, on the interval basis we are actually logged. Now this does not apply on internet banking. Internet banking, they have a very limited time period. In that time period only you have to do everything, because security and money is the issue over here. Security and money is very high. That's why. Fine. Other than that, any website you go, you open lead code, you open hacker rank, you open any website, they are, even you see Instagram, if you open Facebook, if you open YouTube, if you open, you're not logged out. You are logged out once in a year. Fine. But here in the internet banking, it is because of the security risk. And when you refresh your website, you are logged out automatically. No, that is not the case. You will never see a website where you refresh the page and you are logged out. And if you see that website, means it is a broken website. And this thing we have to achieve in our scenarios. This thing we have to achieve, and we cannot do this actually right now. We can only log in, we can only log in, we can only sign up, but we cannot, if some request is coming that this protected page can be accessed, then that thing we cannot do it. If you refresh the page also, then again you have to log in, because it will be logged out. Fine. Is there any doubt? So tomorrow we will learn about what token, how to write it token, how to generate it, and how it is helpful for us to always get logged in. Fine. For always getting the authentication of the user. Always it is giving you the response of authentication of the user. Always. So on that note, we will end this class over here. So thank you guys for joining this session. And if you have doubt, please feel free to ask me. Or if you are very shy, you can write it inside LMS. Fine. And please, those whose issues are resolved, please write that my issue has resolved. Please reply to in the LMS. Thank you guys. Have a good night. And yes, quiz we have opened. Quiz is open up to 12th of January. Please try to attempt this time. We will not open it again. This time we have given you whole week to attend it. So please do try to attend. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. You can leave the session. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Pooja. Thank you, Akila, Pooja, and everyone. Do you have any doubt? If you have any doubt, please feel free to ask, guys. Otherwise, you can leave the session.